Right. What's up, YouTube? Haven't did an intro like that in a while. It's been a long time since I filmed anything. So, life has definitely changed. Let me show you what we're working on today. This is my 2007 Yukon Denali XL. I had to get the XL. I love the way it looks. Just had to. And I found out that nobody made a video for installing the Mishmoto trans cooler. I don't know what's up with my trans, but it's definitely idling a little too hot. I got all my trans fluids changed and whatnot, but it's still up in the 190s, so I'm not liking that. So in hopes to save my transmission, let's install this Mishmoto trans cooler. And here we are. This is the Mishmoto trans cooler. I'll probably put the link in the description for this one. As you can see, I already opened it, and yeah, basically ready to install. I did not know that nobody made a video on this. I just wanted to make a quick thing for this, but yeah, so you can see this is the Mishmoto trans cooler. It came with a bunch of brackets and hoses and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. Kind of a full kit. Already has OEM brackets, not OEM, custom brackets. So we're gonna find a way to mount this onto the truck. And then we have these fittings that I just had these laying around. These are like 6AN 90 degrees to barb fittings, just to fit this 3/8 hose that comes stock with it. So this truck, I like to call it Big Mac, right? It's like the nickname for this truck, especially because the license plate says MAC. So I would like to keep this Mishmoto M the proper way, and in doing so, we're going to have to modify these lines and stuff it up somewhere right up in here. I don't know if you'll ever see the M, but eventually I'm looking to change its grill. I'll show you guys how to remove that later, but yeah, this is kind of it. It looks like we're going to have to make a custom bracket to get this thing to fit. Probably drill a couple holes, nut and bolt it. Probably even riv nut it, actually. It'll probably make our life easier. But yeah, overall, this is kind of straightforward. Kind of. It's a bit more custom than I thought it would be, but overall, it's not too bad. So, start from the beginning. Pop the hood, obviously. We have a couple of 10 mils here. These are 7 mils to hold the bumper. And then, once you get those, 2 7 mils through the grill, right? That's super simple to get to. And then this thing kind of just pops forward. There's side clips, so you have to watch out for those. You just take a little flathead. See, I already broke 2 of them. Or maybe, actually, they already came broken. I don't even know. But, yeah, you gotta push them in with like a flathead and then pull it out. Pops into these little slides in the bumper. Next, you have access to this. So basically, you're all caught up. Now, you have to remove these little rubber things, rubber kind of clips or something. They just pop right off with a flathead. And then you remove, there's like a C-clip in here. This is what it looks like, right? I haven't removed this one yet, but honestly, it's not really, it's kind of hard to come out. I don't really think I'm gonna really care to take them out. If I'll take it out, it's cool. Try and see if I can remove the trans cooler stock, like the stock way. But if not, we have to cut these anyway, just so we can clamp on the new hosing onto it. So it wouldn't really matter all too much if I can get the clip off or not. Just be kind of a plus. So I'm gonna fiddle with this thing just for a while, see if I can get it off. And if not, you would see what I would use to cut these things off with. Yeah, so never mind. Turns out I am not as patient as I was when I was younger. So we just hacked it off with the grinder here. Next step, 2 bolts, right? Oops. 1, 2, they look like 10 mils. And then 2 clips, plastic clips, holding this thing in. Hopefully we don't have to move our sensors. These are, I believe, our ambient temp sensors. Basically inside the truck, it tells you what the degrees is outside. If we do have to move them, we'll probably move them out of here somewhere. But yeah. Next, let's take this off. All right, old trans cooler out. And with the new trans cooler now, So now we can start mocking this up. No turning back now, guys. So I believe I'll be able to use the little tiny holes and mock them up on the sides here. I just gotta be careful for when I'm drilling my holes to not puncture I believe that's my AC condenser behind here. Let's get this thing mounted. I'm gonna mount it up and show you guys what I did right after. So all right, fast forward about 10 minutes later and we have these OEM holes that was already drilled. Just put a riv nut in them. If you will focus in the camera, it looks kind of bright. There you go. Boom. So both of them are done. And then right next to these holes right here, I drilled out new ones and then put these riv nuts in it. Probably legit right under the little sensors that I need to look up and figure out what they are. But yeah. So you can see there is like a little shelf edge under here. What I was going to do is use these spacers right here just to bridge the gap so we can bolt it and the bracket is basically not being bent up against this bar. Then for the top ones, I was thinking maybe we can do the same thing with a spacer, space it out to where it needs to go, and then whatever angle it needs to be, then we can do something like that to bolt that in to the top. We'll figure that out. Bottom ones, honestly, the bottom ones will hold it so snug and stout you won't really need the top ones, but I like to future-proof things, so let's get this done. All right, so we've actually made a couple of changes. We actually ended up using one of these OEM bolts where the original bracket came out of. We just use a nut and bolt. So you can see right here we have a M6 bolt with the supplied bracket here. I don't know what you call that, but supplied bracket, and a spacer that looks like a 1-inch spacer. So honestly, this entire kit's going to be made with M6s and these assorted spacers. So all that being said, it's actually a lot more sturdier than I expected. The bottoms really hold the whole thing in, honestly. I know they're like Phillips, but I didn't have any hexes but that long, so we're just using what we have for now. But honestly, I'm happy with this. Just having one, I'm obviously gonna put the second one, but just having one, this thing is solid. I can't wait to actually do this. So next, let's get the next set on, and then let's attach the hoses to this thing. All right, guys, so now we have everything fully installed. I've just loosened this up to pre-fill this whole thing here. We have our transmission lines cut down to size to these nice 90-degree barb fittings. Just gonna push those on there and push on the little clamps that we have just to finish this up. As you can see, it is getting dark, so I'm skipping a couple steps. I'm just fast forwarding over this. But transmission cooler is now topped off. I wanted to pre-fill it just because, you know, make no sense. It's just gonna fill it up anyway, so decided to pre-fill it. And yeah, so let's go ahead, button everything up and put the grill back on. All right, and just like that, we are good. No leaks. Nice and snug. This thing is actually very, very, very nice. Bottom bolts is mostly, bottom bolts is mostly doing the work. If you can see that, it is dark now. It is dark now. Bottom bolts mostly doing the work. The top is just along for the ride, just to make sure this thing doesn't, you know, shake around. I can already feel the heat into this thing. Thank God we pre-filled it. That actually did something. I'm gonna check my fluid a little later, but I like to chalk it up. This was a definite successful install. Right, so overall it was definitely a successful install. My temps definitely did not go over above like 150 that day. And it was definitely like a nice long drive to Connecticut. You can see me going over the Throgs Neck Bridge. But I definitely have to move my ambient temp sensors because it was probably about 85, maybe 82 degrees day, and it was reading like over like 97. So definitely I'll move them and I'll show you guys where I put them in like a B-roll or something. Overall, guys, definitely a successful install. Definitely love the process, and maybe I'll get back to recording a lot more things in the future. So don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And never forget, never stop modifying. Cool. Another successful install. Right, so for my definite long-time subscribers, this is what we're working with. Don't worry, the Porsche will soon come back.